Alright, today we're going to take a look at one of the top tier pets from Turtle Pack of yesteryear, because it certainly is not top tier anymore, at least in terms of customs gameplay, and that is the seal. Now, seal used to be super powerful in its original form because it didn't just scale attack, it would allow you to scale both health and attack at the same time. And that meant that you could really just scale your entire team using seal plus food alone. And there were many 5-of-a-kind attempts that I had in Turtle Pack where that's exactly what I was doing. In fact, it was so strong that you could pretty realistically get close to a 5-of-a-kind of some of the token pets like Ram and Bus and so on, just by using seal. So ultimately it wasn't surprising that it ended up getting changed, and in the current version it just gives attack. It gives more attack than it used to, but just no health. And I wanted to make a build of this in customs because it's one of those units that I almost never take in a custom pack. But since the Corncobs update came out, there are actually quite a few things you can use seal for that it didn't really make any sense previously. So one of them is going to be playing seal with Farmer Crow. So what I want to do is have the seal in second position, Farmer Crow mushroom at the front. And then when the Farmer Crow faints, it's going to allow the seal to scale the attack of our team in battle. So I think that's one of the best changes that they made somewhere along the line. I don't know the first time it actually came up. But being able to use these pets that were previously locked into just being in the shop in battle as well, I think it greatly improves build variety. Now, it does also kind of hurt this build a little bit that Farmer Crow isn't necessarily the best unit either, especially if you're going to go for one of these atypical combos. But it's also not terrible, and it did recently just get a buff where it gives double stats. So it still only gives 3 Corncobs, which will trigger the seal 3 times, but it is now possible for the seal to scale up a bit quicker compared to the original version. Kind of unusual team here where they're playing Falcon at the front, but we'll take advantage of that. Maybe we would have lost here if that wasn't the case, I'm not sure. But yeah, what I want to then do is have the Cardinal Fish, which is going to remove attack from all units. And then hopefully the Farmer Crow plus Seal combo is going to counteract that for our team, but not the opponents. I played quite a few games of this, and the success rate was pretty random. You know, there were some times where it looked really good, but a lot of times where it just looked absolutely terrible. This actually looks like a team that is possibly setting up for Rev's build with the bombus doing 100 damage. I'll link that video in the description. Maybe it was just by chance, but that definitely looked quite suspicious to me. So here we go. On turn time we get the seal. Usually I would have a higher level seal than higher level Farmer Crow, because the Farmer Crow is only going to feed the seal the same number of times. It will feed the units behind the seal instead. So you can see how it works here. The seal eats 3 Corncobs and then gives a bunch of attack to those units in the back. Now what I want to do is swap the other pets I have already. As we face Nick Resney, I'll link Nick's channel in the description. Maybe he'll upload if I do that. To swap those for other units that benefit from having attack scaling. So Rooster is one of them right there. And there are quite a few different pets in that category in this pack. And we are feeding the seal a bit here to scale up the attack of the pets in our squad. Now, that has limited usage, I would say, because, of course, unless we get the attack really, really high, the Cardinal Fish is going to reduce our attack anyway. So I guess it's really just there as a failsafe. You never know. Some of the teams you face, you might end up losing your Cardinal Fish or having it transformed into something else. It's better to just cover all eventualities. You can also face things like Hyena, which swaps the stats over, and therefore the Cardinal Fish wouldn't take the health away. Now here against Yogru, playing Black Rhino for a change instead of Vulture, we're going to get absolutely crushed. But this team is not particularly good, so it's not really surprising. But getting to 9 wins with 4 hearts gives us a solid chance. I really would have liked to have had higher level Seal here as well. But as you can see, this entire team is tier 5 or higher. And those types of teams can be very frustrating to play as it takes a long time to get them going. Even if you get like really lucky with Alpaca and so on, it can still be pretty difficult. Now this opposing team is really nice. I had this on my list as well to do, but maybe not necessary now. They've got the wildebeest that was using white truffle, and we barely lose. I think it was Panda giving health to the Highland cow there. So normally I would have fed the chocolate to the seal, but because we're on 9 already, I'm just going to go for the rooster. And you can see that the buffs from the farmer crow actually do make quite a big difference in terms of helping out the lionfish and the rooster. And it looks like this team just doesn't have enough attack. It is nice to see people playing some of the new units, but probably not synergistic enough in that particular instance. So let's just look at a couple of variations of this. Like I said, I played a lot of games, and I really just wanted to have level 3 seal, level 3 farmer crow, because otherwise the amount of attack you get is just way too low to beat most solid teams. As we actually face, I think this is the same person again. Yeah, definitely going for a weakness plus Dinokairos build. I think that's the name. But in this example, we've got reindeer instead of lionfish. And I think reindeer is pretty nice now in the current version. There's so many people playing ailments. I mean, it was already good in previous versions, but it also got a stat boost. So all round a great choice for your tier 6. So we get level 2 farmer crow here. We do get the lionfish there, but I think I had really committed to having one of the 2 attack scaling pets as being a summoner. I think in general it's just better to do that. Here we get messed up by the leaf gecko, ruining the setup because the farmer crow got transformed into something else. But luckily the reindeer gaining the melon was beneficial to us again. Or maybe I'm just going to play 2 reindeer. Yeah, I think I'm looking for the rooster here. I guess Hydra was in the pack as well. Anything really that could have benefited from gaining attack, but unfortunately in this particular round it's lynx plus tiger. Although we are going to be able to scrape the win still. Yeah, combine the reindeer together. I think I really just wanted 2 different pets for the sake of variety. Now there I could have actually taken the other seal because we have level 2 farmer crow already. So it would actually be possible to have the farmer crow trigger 2 seals at the same time. But now we bring in the rooster. Level 1 rooster has also been buffed, I think. A small amount of extra attack or extra health, I forget. Here's a level 3 blue whale team. They're going to be unstoppable in a couple of turns' time. But luckily we're able to scrape a draw. And here, we're just taking the health food as much as possible. I think the pack was stacked up with health food deliberately. Here's another Dinokairos team. Again, the reindeer works out great. We get rid of the ailment. Still fairly close in the end. And we'll go for the higher level cardinal fish. There were some of these games where I had lollipop in the pack, so that feeding the seal in the shop would allow me to then just swap the stats on the units in the backline and therefore not end up wasting so much attack and can just convert it into health instead. But almost none of those particular runs got anywhere near the end, so I'm not really sure what that says exactly. I'm sure it was probably a sensible strategy, but sometimes these things just don't work out. And it also seems like the cardinal fish doesn't remove its own attack. I thought in previous versions it affected itself as well, but I could be wrong. You can see there it removes from everything. I'm sure Armadillo, which is the kind of reverse of this pet, works the other way. I'm not sure. But again, we lose to the same Yoguru team. Of course, this stuff is all recorded in the same session. I really also want to get churros on the cardinal fish. It can be really helpful if you have the attack reduction against opposing leopards and so on before they actually get to shoot. Although I'm not sure if that situation actually came up throughout any of these particular games. But turn 17, we're kind of in the rarefied air at this point. And yeah, these are the kind of teams where you realise having no disruption at all, other than attack reduction, is frequently not going to be strong enough. And the level 2 Spino here, even though their team wasn't like an optimised summon squad, we never really had a chance there. So one more run, this one picking up turn 13, and the difference this time is we're not going to have the attack reduction. We're just going to see what happens if we play the same team but have Tiger behind Seal. So again, this is another benefit to having these in-shop pets that now work in battle, is that you can then use them with Tiger. Way back I did a video in Turtle Pack with Parrot copying Rabbit, which was not the best, but still fun for novelty value. I'll link that one in the description as well. Of course, it doesn't work in shop. You know, Tiger doesn't affect the Seal in shop. But as soon as it gets fed the corn cobs in battle, it will definitely double the effect. Now, unfortunately, there we lost the Rooster before the attack buffs from the Seal, so I think that means we lose out on some stats. And the Boitata's removing a bunch of equipment. But look at this, the Lionfish snipes the cat, and the chick survives on 1 HP. Yeah, in this instance, because we don't have the cardinal fish, feeding the Seal obviously helps us a lot more. There was a cardinal fish there, but I just passed it up. And we move the lionfish to the back, I guess, hoping to tie. Although I guess if I put popcorn on, I'm not really hoping to tie. I'm not sure why I did that exactly. Maybe because the rooster got sniped last turn. But again, the stats that you gain from this are quite deceptive. But here we managed to whittle down this Brazilian tree hopper team and win because of the popcorn. Really would have liked to have had higher level lionfish, but I think, yeah, like I said, because this was all tier 6s and tier 5s, a lot of the time it was very difficult to get a full team of units with high levels. I mean, obviously there are ways to scam high levels, you know, using all the many and various tricks like barnacle and so on, and then transforming them, but the problem with that is it's just still so unreliable. And here on turn 16, I get matched with the obligatory Jersey Devil team. There was a long time where Jersey Devil was super uncommon, but it's made a bit of a resurgence. And once more, without any disruption, we're just never going to beat these summon squads.